Live streaming is on.
Hmm. And what's up? How you doing? I'm here to broadcast in high definition my eyebrows. No, I'm testing this fucking camera and I got it. It's an extreme close up of my face. Ooh, fuck. Hey. Looking a little gross today, not gonna lie. But just wanted to hop on here unmanicured to see what the capabilities of this is. So, welcome to a live stream with me. How you doing? Welcome back. Let's chat. What are y'all up to? Let's see. There we go. Yeah, I think this is like the first this is the first actual show of how this new camera looks. I think the first time I tried to do a live with it, it didn't upload for some reason. So this is the new Canon EOS 80D, right? And I've got a Canon Zoom lens EFS. Honestly, I just looked up what another YouTuber had and fucking bought that. So I think it was like David Dobrik or something, which I barely know who that is, but I know he's popular on the YouTube. So I figured I'd give it a go. Yeah, I got this camera to improve the quality of the podcast. So there's going to be that and just other cool shit that I can do with it. The only problem is it has this little box here. I'm trying to get rid of that. When I first started, there was like a big grid on here, which I took care of, and I got the display gone as well. So that's good. I just can't seem to get this bad boy out. Maybe if I like start a video. No, even then. Shit. Mm. So, as you can see, I'm still working out the kinks. This is just a little backstory, a little behind the scenes action. Ooh. Yeah, so looks like the subscribers jumped up to 108 subscribers, if you can believe that. Dang, welcome. A whole 108 people. I can't even imagine actually talking to 108 people. I mean, that would be like a huge fucking room full of people. And I love every single jump in subscribers. Awesome, right? That's indicative of just a slight more amount of success, which is good. But um, it's funny because that's such a inconsequential amount of subscribers. If you really thought about it, 100 subscribers is substantially low. You compare that to uh, the most subscribed on YouTube is like millions, millions of subscribers. So 108 is tiny. But I mean, if you really think about talking to that amount of people, it'd be pretty crazy. So like even when I upload a video and it gets like, 20 views, that to most people would be like, dude, that's a flop. And it's probably half me. But that's speaking to a small room of people. And I feel like no amount of views is ever inconsequential. So if it hits 100, that's awesome. If it hits 1,000, that's fucking crazy. If it hits hundreds of thousands, I couldn't even imagine. You know, I have some of these videos. One actually got 1,000 views, I think. Let's see. Um, yeah, 4K views on like some shit I did in the past, and it was kind of cool. It was like a mechanic thing. I was um changing out these tie rods in the shitty fucking car I had, and I watched this video by Veritasium, where he starts to describe how he's going to change his the view of his videos. So like the titles will be more clickbaity, and he showed the impact of what that actually does to the YouTube video, and it's astounding, right? Because you can even change something like I did with this old video. You can change the thumbnail and the name. And even if the video is years old, it'll still jump up in views. Like this video I put up, it was very like it wasn't well made. I was just describing this frustrating situation where I found this like tool that actually helped. And like I put that out there cuz I thought, well, I couldn't find this. I had to really dig deep to look at it. If I could surface this for anybody whatsoever, like that would be a success. And so I put it up, and it's been up since like 20, let's see, that's 3 years ago. So, that's 2019 maybe. Um Probably like late 2018. Cuz if this is the inner tie rod tool, like I got my new car uh around 2018. So, I want to say this is probably early 2018. Um and it's been up for a while, but I changed the name to it to reflect more of a clickbaity title. It's called The One Tool You're Missing, to replace your rounded, and then it like drops off. But then I changed the thumbnail to have a red circle and a red arrow, and it's insane. Like it might have scraped 100 views beforehand. And changing like that one little thing has resulted in thousands of views for this. Now it's like currently one of my most viewed like locally. So let's see if I go into my analytics here. I wish I could just broadcast what I'm looking at while I'm doing this. I'll figure it out. That's half the reason why I'm doing this, is just to work out kinks so I could fucking do live streams that are pretty cool. So I go to my channel analytics, and my top videos in the past like 28 days is that mechanic video for the replacing the tie rods. And in the last 28 days, it's gotten 1,100 views on a video I I got like maybe 100, and it has been 3 years old already. Like, you just have to make the tiniest change in some of these things, and even if you've already put those videos up, if you just change one little thing about it to reflect, um, better, clickability, I guess is what it's called, or even click-through rate, you can like, drastically change the views on your videos. So I love to see it because, like I said, it's years old, and in the last month, 28 days, roughly a month, it's gotten like 1/4 of its views. So I love that. And the satisfaction that really comes from that is the other most viewed videos are like, the Chatelet video that I yoinked off somebody and I re-uploaded, purely for my own benefit. I mean, I created this channel just so I could post weird shit like that. But I figure this is the place to post the new content since it already has the ball running. Um, and then, the Radio Lab podcast that I re-uploaded, which is also not my content. So it's cool because, those videos that are definitely not mine, and I will never put ads on them from my own perspective because it's not my place to monetize shit that I didn't create, right? But to see something that I actually did put together as haphazard as it is, to have that be my top video is it's pretty incredible. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it makes me smile to see something I actually put out there reach the top hits on here. So that's super cool. Um, let's see. I'm probably just chatting to myself, but I'll check out the chat. What the fuck? Listening to myself in 2x. Yeah, I'm just chatting to myself here. That's okay. This is a lot of like behind the scenes shit. So I'm just gonna be speaking um for probably no one's benefit but my own. But it's cool from my own perspective to go back into these videos and see exactly where my mind was and what I was thinking. And yeah, if you're along for the ride, welcome. But this is very ground level shit. So that was for a transition later in life. It was actually, so that's the Canon. Um, oh my God, dude. Yes. Are the cannons in the distance. I got these micro SD cards from Micro Center. So that's part of the journey now. I needed that for recording on this Canon, but I was recommended to get. Damn it, you can't see it. No. It's a capture card. I'm trying to show my capture card. You know what I could do? I could just lift this laptop up, since that'll be inconsequential. Yes, the 4K HDMI capture card. So it wasn't that much money. It was fucking probably like $30 for this thing. But it's so cool because I can actually take this camera and broadcast it through my laptop. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. Let's see, what else did I get? Well, I got a Raspberry Pi and a keyboard. This is pretty cool. It's the Raspberry Pi 400. Trying to figure out how to work this thing. It's funny because you buy it and it doesn't come with anything. It's just the keyboard. It's the keyboard, and the keyboard itself is a computer. So it's pretty cool. It has everything that you would need in a computer. It has like an Ethernet cable, some USBs. There are micro HDMI cables and whatever this pin board is for like programming. So, I'm excited to get this going. That's how it sounds when you type on it, which is a little satisfying. Like, you got to find a good keyboard that makes a satisfying sound if you were to. Otherwise, it's just going to be fucking nails on a chalkboard when you're typing out ideas. But my thought, and this is really cool, you can connect this to the TV, and I've got one in my room. My thought was I could just, type things out relatively quickly and with minimal distractions. So I could go without the internet and just type shit into my TV, load up anything I want over there. But I think it's important whenever you're creating to do so in isolation. Um, be that being the case, because you give your idea out to people and they give you shitty advice. Um, like sometimes they'll give you really solid advice, but 80% of people aren't going to give you good advice with your idea. It's going to be some obstacle that they throw your way that you could easily overcome, but you just, they, I feel like they're being kind when they like to throw obstacles your way and say, hey, maybe you can't do this because of A, B, and C. And I don't ever feel like it's that substantial. I feel like people always have reasons why they can't do something rather than why they can. And I find that actually a lot with society in general. Any place that I've ever worked, any person I've interacted with has a more, you know, why can I do this rather than why can I not do this? I like to approach things with that latter perspective. I like to think of, what keeps me from doing this? Like, I always have these constant ideas that are coming up in my mind, and I think like, okay, I never think like, why, what would stop me? Or I when I'm creating, I never think like, what's gonna stop me from doing this? Sorry, no. I want to say the way to put this is it's easier to ask for permission. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. So I like to approach things in a way where, you act first and then you ask questions later in this sense of I have this really good idea. I want to do that. And then you just attempt it and see what happens. Do people get mad about it? Like, we'll see. We'll find out. I'm not going to ask if anyone's going to be mad about it because they'll throw you a million objections as to why whatever you're trying to think of is not a good fit. And the real secret to success, not that I should be speaking as someone who's not absurdly successful, but I feel like the real secret is just to not super care about what other people think with regard to your idea, and always take it with the most minute grain of salt. Because if you were to ever take their objections seriously, you would never create anything at all. Anything that you could ever think of could be stopped by someone's shitty objection to you, and that's going to stop you immediately in your tracks. But if you see through that and don't exactly care what other people think about your idea can come to fruition in such a way that they've never imagined or could never even fathom. Right? That's how true innovators exist in this world. They're people that don't ask why not, and they instead ask, why can I do this? Why would I not be able to? It's still not an eloquent way to say that, so I'll try and write that out. But I feel like no one great really asks for permission. They just do it. And if it pisses people off enough that they tell you that it pissed them off, like, you'll deal with that later. But you have the product that you made anyway. So you might have to pay the price of pissing someone off, but that risk is actually much lower than what people assume. The people that truly care about what others think. I feel like an idea should just be good by itself. It should be good by its own merit. If you have a solid plan, it'll stand up on its own, and people are going to either like that or not like it. And whether they do or don't is outside of your own control. It doesn't matter. It's the idea itself, and it's alive and it's doing its thing. You know, people's opinion about it doesn't change the fact of the idea itself. And I felt this often. I feel like I felt this all throughout my life. And I think that it's important to stand alone and to stand against a crowd, particularly when they're wrong. But to have the ability to stand up to a crowd, a a constructed consensus is very important. Um, because if any crowd comes at you in such a way, you'll always think that you are wrong because you would assume that everyone's coming to the same conclusion independently, and therefore your idea might not have as much background as you assumed it would, because from your perspective, you're biased, of course, toward your idea. But if you can see through that, if you can see through their perception of it and go by the logic that backs their perception of it, then I think that you can always stand alone against a crowd that is stood against you. I feel like people assume that there's strength in numbers, and there is to a degree, but the strength of numbers doesn't even compare to the strength of logic when given a long enough timeline. So, if you want to be on the right side of history, be on the right side of logic and reasoning, because given a long enough timeline, the logic will sort itself out. People are going to be away from the other individuals that have altered their opinion in this way. So, if you're able to see through the perceptions of those around you, you're going to make decisions that will last throughout time. And that's how to get on the right side of history. If you're concerned about, say the cancel culture, for example, um, and people have this perception that being on the side of cancel culture is being on the right side of history. But really what it is people coming together to create a consensus that's not actually factual and not actually reasonable or logical. And because of that, if you extend that timeline to its infinity, then you're going to be away from all of these individuals that are creating a biased opinion. And instead, you're only going to have to base that on its logic. And you either stand with logic or you stand against it. But that, I think, is the main determining factor of whether or not you're going to be on the right side of history, if you're really concerned about that. So, logic often gets a bad rep with that group for this very reason. I feel like, you know, people within that group identify logic as being fallible. But I think you have to check your premises if that's the case. I think that you can always use logic in such a way to break anything at all, down to its fundamental levels, at which point you will be away from any bias, any subjectivity that you can get away from. And I think that you'll be aligned with being on the right side of history if that's the case. This is kind of cool. Oh, hey, look at that. There's like a red dot up here. All right. I'm being meta. I'm looking at the recording. Okay. Flip. Oh, I think it's being hidden. That's what it is. Okay. And I don't think tile view changes anything. My channel. Yeah, no, it's just cool to like see this shit and think about the prospect of what's coming to the future of everything. As far as this channel goes, as far as my presence on YouTube goes. Yeah, and I might shower up and actually make some content, but this is just neat, I'm a big fan of this setup, and I'd like to see where it takes me. Yeah. It's like portrait mode, Wires. This is my new segment called Wires and Liars. New audio device. Okay. What's my audio settings? All right, so we got the Shure mic. Rest assured. And okay, so I could change cameras if I wanted to. This is my laptop. Still a pretty cool view. Hides my face, which is optimal, but and then we got this. Bam. This is super neat. Yeah. Severity option. Oh, security options. Video bridge encryption is currently experimental. Okay. So I'm going to turn on video bridge encryption.
End-to-end encryption is on.
Things. So that way it can like encrypt Huh. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Didn't seem like it changed anything, which is pretty cool because if you consider, is there a drop in quality? And that's all you have to really, focus on is, has there been a drop in quality? And if there hasn't, and there has been a drastic increase in encryption and safety, I think it's well worth that trade. Zero downside. So yeah. Let me know what's going on, everybody. Um, let me know what's up. Whoa. All right, so my lifetime views. I'm checking out my analytics right now because I'm a sucker for some analytics. I work as an analyst, so to look at the analytics on YouTube is pretty cool. Looks like my total views are 77.7 thousand. That's awesome. I'd say, all right, so out of 77, there's about 61. So out of 77, there's 71. 71 out of 77 is not my content. So 71 over 77, that is 92%. So 92% of my views are not mine. And I'd like to change that, because I think it's important to make good content out there. Once I stop being so sleepy. Yeah, I might fucking take a nap and then make some content. I don't know. Sometimes I take like way too much coffee or nootropics, and then I get like really tired. So maybe that's what's going on. Yeah, I'm gonna stop this live stream. I feel like I'm tired as shit. But before I go, let's see if there's any comments. I doubt it, but let's see. Yep, no, I think we're good. So everybody stay classy. Yeah, enjoy life and do what you love, because that's all life is. If you do what you hate, then you're not really living. And I don't know what to tell you. You got to get in a place where you can do what you love and just do nothing but that. Whoa. Movie recording has been stopped automatically. Look at that. It's like it knows. All right, see ya.